Are you telling me that plant is a freak that grows bigger and stronger off of used bathwater? So Mushoku Tensei has been on a pretty calm roll, which has everyone fearing a turning point. Let's see what they do this week. Do me a solid. Make sure you leave a like on this video. Show your support, subscribe, ring that bell if you haven't already, and Patreon is where you catch the full live reactions to all this and more. You can also have the video on the YouTube mobile app, which does push it to even more people and helps me out. Let's jump into it and see what they have in store for us this week. Holy shit. We are rich now. Ah, that's why. Basically inheritance. There's a non-zero chance that as this song abruptly cuts off, he watches his house explode, you know? It's too peaceful. That's where this came from. I don't watch trailers for anything, but that image has been floating around all fucking week, and I honestly thought he was doing it to one of his wives, if I'm being 100% real. The point of this episode is to make you on edge the whole time, thinking bad things are gonna happen until we eventually let our guard down and then someone dies. Like, I just refuse. If that thing grows into a monstrosity and breaks apart the house, I'm gonna be pissed. That's what happens when you have a fucking gooner basement, you little bitch. The fact that she's so numb to, as she says, Rudy's freakiness, what type of abomination is she gonna grow up into when that doesn't faze her? And if you tell anyone about them goddamn panties, I swear to fuck. Bro said I ain't even touching this with a 5-foot pole. I'm out. Jesus. Get out of the cup chair once in a while, girl. It's funny, though, because in terms of hierarchy, like, she literally is in control of the household, right? King class... See, I thought we were gonna go king class... Thought we were about to give him the king class dong. I mean, it's kind of fucked up when you think about the fact that she's known him since childhood. On one hand, it's like, oh shit, it's kind of sweet. She sees the little student that she used to teach, and then you're like, wait a second, they get down and dirty at night. Truly the spiritual successor to the 100 Girlfriends experience. This is... another suspicious episode. The thing about Mushoku Tensei is you don't know when a turning point will arrive. You don't know when something bad will happen. And if this was like a war anime right now, right? This would be like preparing for a battle. New hand. King God level water magic. Families all together. I don't think his whole house is going to blow up, but that's currently the edge I'm getting. In a very episode where Rudy gets blackmailed by his sister not to expose his perversions, I also am like, what is going to happen? The only reason you rise someone up this hard, after showing time and time again you will let that character fall, is to push his newfound power to the limit. A part of me is waiting for Eris to just randomly pop up at the doorstep and say, what the fuck? And maybe that will happen before something even crazier, or maybe that is the big drama, I don't know. But as someone who has thankfully not been spoiled on where the show really goes, I don't know. Maybe this is just a red herring. Maybe the author is doing a thing where it's basically built us into assuming once things are too good, bad things will happen. And in fact, we will have episodes of just this. Which, hey, this is enjoyable content. Out of all the episodes we've had, at least in recent memory, including last season, I think this is probably one of the better episodes at highlighting the throuples dynamic. The way Roxy apologizes, saying, hey, you know, you probably basically think I'm a homewrecker, more or less. And then Sylphy saying, actually, if it was only going to be one, I would have lost. It's kind of fucked up in a way because both of them think the other would not exist because that's just how Rudy is. Rudy's sitting there saying sweet nothing. But, you know, if you take a step back, you remove your own opinions on the whole dynamic. Seemingly, they're all pretty happy with this dynamic. It's funny, though, because from my understanding, Sylphy is actually the head bitch in charge. Like, even more so than Rudy. If Rudy wants to bring Eris into this dynamic, he doesn't just bring Eris in. Like, he has to be like, hey, are you okay with this? Like, I did marry you first. Like, even if there's an argument that he actually loves Roxy more just because of the whole teacher dynamic, whatever, right? Sylphy is in charge. So, at the end of the day, I understand where Sylphy's coming from, but I feel like he probably does love her more. It's up for debate because at the end of the day, right? Roxy does have a lot of, I mean, he worships her panties, right? I mean, but I think because of what Sylphy helped heal in him, I think he has a more of an emotional. I think this is more of like a I think he genuinely loves Roxy. I think, though, in terms of why it feels more intense is just because of his perversions. I think, in general, his actual romantic love is stronger with Sylphy, but, I mean, Mushoku Tensei fans will probably debate it, I'm sure. But it is interesting, this thing. When this happened, I was like, oh, this is the turning point. We're gonna fucking grow this thing, and it's gonna kill everyone. Or, you know, like, I'm thinking it's gonna become, like, a Jack and the Beanstalk level height, and it's gonna cause Armageddon. But now, with how this has grown, because she's desperately saying, I want to keep it. Rudy being pretty reasonable, in my opinion, saying, we don't want to keep this thing. It could bite a head off. Rudy ends up having to cover her mouth because Roxy walks in because, I mean, unfortunately, apparently his freakiness doesn't faze her, which has me questioning what the fuck she will look like when she grows up because, Jesus. But I will say, girl had her head on straight by saying, I'm going to expose your secret panties, which, you know, I generally wonder if that would phase her or not, because, I mean, you gotta know what type of guy he is at this point. This thing's going to protect them for sure. Like, if we plant this thing in the front yard, like, that's got to be like a guard dog, right? I do find it interesting that Roxy was the one who's kind of like, yeah, I mean, as long as a person raising it right, it will be very, like, beneficial. It just feels like what we're doing is we're setting up something big. Eris is out here training, becoming a master swordsman. That strength is going to be needed. We now have a guardian piranha plant that most likely will grow up big and strong. Rudy has a hand again. He learns diabolical magic. Like, they literally confirm that Roxy 1 out of 5 times fails this spell, which explains why she was worried about teaching Rudy it, and he did it on his first try. You don't give all this power, you don't give all this security unless something big will happen. The man who cost us an arm. Or a hand, I should say. Maybe that's why. Will someone die? I truly don't know. But if the rest of the season was slice of life like it is, would it be bad? No. I actually quite like the slice of life. But something isn't right. I just don't know what it will be. And I don't want to know what it will be. Keep me spoiler free. All I can say is this show is a very fascinating world. The production remains very good. And the fact that, very similar to something like Game of Thrones, doesn't hide away from the problematic media. And that's what makes it entertaining. It is always funny that both 100 Girlfriends and Mushoku Tensei always release at the same time, on the same day of the week, the Lord's Day. Will never not crack me up, but either way, I'd actually say this was my favorite episode. Last week, I enjoyed last week's episode, but I thought the Eris stuff was better. Now I'm at the point of, like, it's either equal to Eris or slightly more enjoyable for me. I really like this episode. Very, very good. Your thoughts down below, though. What did you think? Theories if you got any. If you are anime only, don't give me fucking theories if you already know the source material. I can spot the difference, okay? But your thoughts. Leave a like, share, support, subscribe, ring that bell, and yes, Patreon for live reactions over there, and other exclusives, because I also got to give those video shows too, because my patrons are what make this YouTube channel possible. So today we got here in 12, Sean Cafferkey, Ryan Kahalili, and we also have Jessica L. Compton. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and y'all have a good one.